Nice!
Hey mama!
Nice.
It is another episode of Andertons TV, so thanks for tuning in. And today we have the beautiful Peter Hindmarsh, aka Danish Pete. The similarly dashing Paul Hindmarsh.
That's what I was going to do that for. It's finally you're back.
He's back.
It's been a while.
Geordie Paul.
Yeah.
And me, the captain. So Paul, why have you driven 400 miles to Guildford today? Yes, just why?
To show you this.
What is this?
This is the HX Effects.
Exciting.
So brand new from Line 6, just released it at NAMM. And as you know, Helix has become incredibly popular over the last few years. This is the effect side from Helix. So it's all of the effects that you get from Helix. We've also added, which anybody has a Helix and has done the updates, we also added all of the sounds from the M9 and the M13 as well.
Which are very popular. Always been very popular.
So if
absolutely, yeah.
If we want to explain this distinction between effects and amp mod, so what is it? So on the big Helix and the Helix LT, it's all this plus amp modeling.
Yes. So the Helix does that's the sort of thing that you would plug into a computer or you'd plug into a PA. That's going to have amp sounds. It's going to have cabinet modeling. It's going to have all that stuff in there as well as all of the effects. So if you so this has no Marshall sounds in there. There are no Soldano sounds. There are no amp models like that. This is full of modulation pedals, delay pedals, reverb pedals, all kinds of things like that. So it's like having a custom pedal board, like just the pedals that we have over there. It's having all
but
of
in a
those
small box.
Yeah.
So in a way, an upgrade from the M5 or M9 kind of thing, but more.
More.
Right?
More. Yeah.
More.
Yeah. Tons more. It's much deeper. You can even on the M13, which is such a great unit that I used for years.
Yeah.
You can only really have 4 effects at once on that, you know. So this, as well as it being all of the Helix effects, you can actually have more complex signal paths with this. It's got all the component modeling that you would get with all those Helix sounds, and you can have 9 different effects at once.
I was just about to say
I put 9 different effects on.
Well, no, I was about to say so the headlines.
You don't have to have them on all at the same time.
But the headlines of Helix effects are, I believe there's something in the region of 100 different types of effects, aren't there?
There are. Now, I think it's 117, although I did hear somebody say 123, so I'll do the line 6 and I'll say 117 plus.
So there's lots of effects. 9 at once if you want them, presumably if you're running just a mono signal chain. Or like 9 in a row.
Yes, I mean that would still be a stereo, there could be 9 stereo effects running there. So let's not get confused with the fact you can have 9 effects at once. Yeah. Like in a preset, it's like having 9 different pedals on a board. Yeah. Doesn't mean to say you're going to use them all at the same time.
No, of course.
So it sounds crazy to say. It sounds crazy to say 9 effects that you're going to have them all the time. You wouldn't want to have. Unlikely that you want to have all them at the time.
Yeah.
But that would include things like having an effects loop in there as well.
Right.
Yeah. It could be a volume pedal. It could be a wah pedal. A delay, and you would switch in those in and out, just like having a cool pedal board on the ground as well, So
it's obviously the processing and the code that's used in this is from Helix.
From Helix,
so it's effectively the best that Line 6 have to offer.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the exact same quality. It's the same component modeling, it's the same thing that I've been waffling on about for the last 2-3 years. It is those models from Helix, which is individual components and all that technology that Line 6 used to take pedals to pieces and measure how. Yeah. And I mean, some of those things are, as we know, really, really difficult to model as well. Germanium, and silicone diodes in fuzz pedals. Yeah. They're very, very difficult to model. But Line 6 have got it nailed now, and I think that the popularity of the Helix has proved that as well.
Yeah. I think what everybody loves about Helix, there's obviously a subjective opinion about how it sounds, but the sort of unanimously objective comments that you read about Helix is how intuitive it is. Yeah. This idea of the scribble strips, so every button can tell you what it's doing. The idea that you can assign how many different color LEDs are there that you can assign to every single one? Is it like 5, 6 different?
Oh, there's more. Yeah,
there's
way more
over
than
10,
that. Yeah, because there's So if you look at the top of this, you can see that we have default color codes.
Yes.
So we have things like green, orange is going to be a reverb, so purple will normally be a filter, but we've done something a little bit exciting.
We've done something a bit
coming up
cool.
there.
Yeah.
And so we have sort of set colors for different effects, but you can override all of them as well.
those.
And there's extra colors as well.
And the way you touch the
Well,
things
and I was
to
about to
change
say,
stuff
so
around and
that's-
all that stuff is so
So
intuitive,
the
so easy.
and so where every single button has effectively two functions, like a pedal where you physically switch it on and off, but this idea where you just touch something. I mean, check that out. Hopefully you're seeing on the camera
Yeah.
above this idea that when I just
And this
so
this
cool.
thing, I love this thing when you hold two together like that. And then you can switch them from one to the other if you want to switch that to that.
Yeah.
All you do is hold those two.
Yeah.
I feel the current going through me, the cool current.
It's super cool and intuitive. Obviously, I think with any multi-effects unit, there's an element that says every button will have sort of multiple functionality. But even without reading the manual, I saw Pete was going, oh, okay, so I can see on my King of Tone here, if it says send, return, and mix, here are the three things. There's three buttons above here, so yes, that. Oh, okay, that's obvious. That does that.
And I didn't even. I didn't even touch anything before. All I went was that, and then I went, okay, that must be that, and that must be that, and that must be that.
The little arrow here designates that there's a second page, so you press the second page.
Again, the three
it's just like.
And I haven't even had to say.
I know.
I haven't been through any of this with the guys.
We're quite clever.
But this is.
I thought that was what I was here for.
This I think was what really appealed to. I said this was the objective side. I know everyone's going to have their own opinion as to how things sound. But operationally, I've not met anybody that's really gone, oh no, I find Helix way too complicated. It's like operationally, I think it's great.
Yeah, Line 6 absolutely nailed that.
Yeah, and if you've got a Helix already, this is very easy to use as well.
So I kind of like the bulk of this video, if possible, is us really just playing different sounds and plugging it in. So you can see, guys, what we've done here. Well, you can't see this, but I'll explain what we've done here. We have plugged the guitar straight into the Helix, and then we've simply taken the two outputs, the stereo outputs here, plugged one amp to a clean amp on our right, one and a clean amp on our left, so that you're hearing stuff in stereo. It's pretty much the simplest way to use Helix, isn't it? You're literally using it like you would a pedal that you just plug in the front of an amp.
Yeah.
We've used the effects loop to put in Pete's Analog Man King of Tone, which is kind of cool. So we can start controlling the King of Tone from here, and that's all we've done. But just explain, there are 4 cable, 7 cable,
8 cables if you're lucky.
Yeah, well, we're not ready to go there yet.
No.
We're not ready for the red room, so we're not going 8. But can you just explain to the guys, what we mean by 4 cable and 8 cable, and even some of the other methods where you can start to control channel changing on amps?
Like Helix, HX Effects has quite a comprehensive I/O on there as well. So I should probably just backtrack a little bit as well. So we have all those different effects. So let's say you've got 117 of the Helix effects, then you've got 77 of the M series effects as well. So 9 up to 9 at once. But what I do want to say is that you can actually they're stereo effects, and you can have those on 2 paths. So that's another reason why it changes from the M13 and the M9. So that's 2 different paths. So I can send, like you said, it signals into different amplifiers as well. I've also got 2 effects loops on there, so I can have an effects loop in each one of those paths as well. I could decide to have 2 different pedals like this. So these 2 effects loop here, I could use those for control, like bringing in and switching in different effects, or I could use them for bringing in, switching different effects loops as well. So there's a whole collection of stuff in there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what I want to get the point across is it's stereo, and there's 2 different paths.
Hey Helix. Hey Helix. Can you,
Hey Helix.
hey Helix. That's definitely coming.
That's
coming. That's next, isn't it? That's 2020.
Yeah.
Hey Helix, can you
turn
get me a
that
sound
delay
like
on,
Dave
like-
Gilmour? Thanks.
Bring up a Gilmore patch.
Yeah. So I mean,
Get audience shouting at you.
Hey Helix. Yeah. So if we look at the back there, you've got your 2 different effects loops there, which you can use for whatever you want to use. Obviously, effects loop kind of base there. You've got your left and right outputs. Over here, we have the expression pedal sort of inputs. So I can have 2 expression pedals running with that. Like you were going to say there, we can actually control channel changing on amplifiers. So if you've got if I wanted to change within each preset or foot switchable and actually have the channel change on this Victory on this foot switch and the channel change for that Victory on this foot switch, I could do that as well. And then color code them and name them as well. So, and something that we didn't explain really was this King of Tone is in the loop.
Yeah.
I customized the name of that to King of Tone. I wasn't very creative, but I did.
You did.
The pedals purple, and I made the foot switch purple as well. So that is the King of Tone switching. So when you went to the effects before on that, the parameters aren't going to say.
Yes. No. Yeah,
so the parameters weren't going to say distortion. They weren't going to say tone.
No, it's not going to control that.
It's your send level and your return level.
These aren't just ambient effects in here, are they? Which people might be thinking that maybe it is. So although we've used the effects loop to put the King of Tone through it, there's a bucket load of drive pedals and
absolutely.
The same from the
pedals,
Helix,
everything from the Helix,
Minotaur.
Do you remember I mean, this wasn't the most scientific test because we only recorded it on an iPhone, but we recorded into an amplifier. This is about a year ago. We had a Klon KTR and through the effects loop, and
Helix,
and we had the Klon actual effects from the Helix.
Yep.
And we were basically doing, and we recorded it and we sent it to two very well-known other YouTube presenters that might be well-known for doing pedals on YouTube. And we were like, can you guess which is which? And they both guessed wrong.
Yeah.
I've not seen this.
Oh, no, it didn't go on YouTube. Literally, we just did a thing on my phone and texted it to them. It
was audio from a. But I mean, honestly, and it was running straight in the amp. We couldn't tell.
Yeah, no, they sound the same.
I think you did the thing with Neville Martin, the wonderful Neville Martin as well. We did the stuff in Yamaha with him. And we had a Helix and we had a real Klon and we had and all those guys from the magazines and Neville and as a result of which Neville became a big advocate.
Still, I mean, I speak to Neville, every couple of months about this, that, and the other, and he is such an advocate of Helix, and yet he so isn't. But he so isn't the guy, is he? Yeah. Neville is playing. Is it Marty Wilde? He's in the old band with, so he's doing all those. He's old school, like proper old school.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yet he's like a total Helix convert, isn't he?
We went from his matchless DC30 to DI, and we. Yeah,
anyway,
we did a good number on him at Yamaha. Yeah, he got the implant. And
come over here,
so look, why don't we? I mean, I think. I think with these kind of videos, we could literally spend an hour talking about the spec, and it'd be a deeply boring video. But so we'll put a link in the description below where you can go and find out, actual processing power and specifically what those 100 different effects are and all the different ways you can use it. I think really we should just be saying it's currently selling in the UK for about £550. Please, if you're watching this video 6 months down the line, you'll need to go and recheck what that price is. This pedal is an optional extra. It's by Mission. It's a Line 6 expression pedal, but what you're hearing is basically just into two clean amplifiers. There's no reverb, no distortion, no nothing coming from the amplifiers. And I think we should just get these two wonderful guitar players to just show off some of the effects that they can do, because that's really all anyone's actually interested in. I mean, unless you've got any pressing questions, have you, Pete?
No, I mean, to me, it seems very simple. Having a Helix that we use here, and I use a lot, and in the studio, and I use it straight in my laptop as an interface, because when you put it into Logic, it just comes up as an interface, and then you put the guitar in, and it's just great. And it's so easy to use, and it sounds great. So. For me, I get it already. I mean, I've just literally sat here for 5 minutes. That's it, and then I kind of get it already. So unless there's anything new that you want to, is there something new here that the Helix doesn't do, or because this appeals to different?
This is an amp guy.
Yeah, this is an amp guy who wanted to maybe loop a couple of overdrive distortion pedals in and have a small board, and a couple of amps or one amp. That's what I see, but you can do for cable.
So I mean, this can replace a whole pedal board, so you don't need anything at all. Or it can sit completely on your pedal board, or it can control everything else as well, using the loops and losing the MIDI functions and the amp switch and things. So at that point, it becomes the centerpiece of your pedal board with MIDI and all those different things. So it does all that kind of thing. And for somebody who just wants to get into having effects, it's that simplicity that's the beauty of it, So I mean, I'm gonna very quickly do this, but if you're in a live situation and you want to edit that kinky boost pedal,
Yeah.
you touch that and the parameters are straight there, and the pots there are straight away as well. Yeah. If you want to see all of the parameters with these, it's you touch and hold it. So if I want to see all of the reverb, so there is some pretty cool stuff on there as well. So I can very, very quickly edit any of those parameters straight away. I can, and touching that foot switch, I'm going to bring us instantly into
that, and then these three knobs will be the three parameters. And if for instance, if you go back out again, so a thing that I think is really cool on the Helix is that if you have your pedals up here like that, you can hold down that.
Absolutely, I was just going to mention that, but you do it. You go for it.
And then you go into, let's say, this one.
Yeah.
So, and then when you click these, will control that.
Yeah. So that's
the same from the Helix. I think that is such a cool idea.
Actually, on the fly.
If you got on the fly and you go, I need a little bit more distortion than that, you just hold it down, click in, and then you just give it some gain, or delay, or whatever it is, or times of the tremolo and all that sort of stuff.
So well thought.
And you can tap the tempo in the same way.
Yeah, you got everything like that. Yeah, you got the tuner.
And it's so great.
Yeah, I mean, like what Pete's saying there, that's pedal edit mode. I mean, that's a great way of doing it. You know, exactly. Like you say, you hold that down. It asks you which pedal you want to edit.
Yeah.
You said you want to do the delay. And,
and then you got it.
And you can change.
That's
that
so
as well,
cool, isn't it? I mean, I love that.
I mean, on a lot of things, if you want, it's the same kind of MIDI or the expression pedal stuff, or as you would say on the Helix as well. So, on a lot of things, if you want to assign expression pedal stuff, it can take a long time. But if I want to assign that expression pedal to do any of the parameters are in here. So let's say I wanted to control the mix of this searchlights pedal. You click on the searchlights. I just need to find the mix there. It's there, and then we have the same press and hold here. And if I press that down, it's going to ask me to learn it. And then once I move that foot switch, and that's it straight away.
Did you see the little picture of a brain coming up
so now,
there for learn?
so that's the learn. That's the learn.
Look at that. Now that's the mix one. Then.
So now that's the mix. So we got a ton of other effects on there. But so it's really quick and really easy.
That's so easy, isn't it? It's almost as easy as going down to your pedal on your pedal board and turning it off.
You did mention IRs, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I want to mention something else first because I know that somebody's going to ask that question. So we talked about you can have 9 different effects at once. There's only 6 different foot switches on here.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. So I know that's going to be the very, very first question.
I was going to ask that as well.
So
go to the next page.
If you go into these settings here, we do have the signal flow page. So signal flow page, you can see there's 9 different things there, 9 different effect blocks. It may be that you just always have a reverb on, or you always have a noise gate on, or you always have, or you've got this assigned to a volume pedal, or you want to have a volume pedal on there. You don't necessarily need to allocate one of your 6 foot switches for that. So the volume can be sitting there. You wouldn't be able to see it in this page, but it's working behind the scenes. It's working as one of those blocks. Yeah. So you get 9 effects at once, and that's also going back into there. That signal flow page is where you move things around in the blocks as well. So what you said before of swapping foot switches, you can totally swap foot switches anywhere you want. When you do that, though, as you know this, but it doesn't change the order of the effect when you do that, which you wouldn't want it to. You just want to have it your reverb at the top because you leave it on all the time, and you want to have your overdrives at the front. It's not going to actually change the order and put your reverb before your distortion or anything.
Once you've made this here, if you swap your pedals around on the on your page where all the pedals are, this is not going to get swapped over unless you do that.
And then when you're in here, this is, so I should probably do this for this camera, but when I'm on here and selecting those different blocks, that's where I would also choose the path as well. So in fact, I should do this. If I do that path thing and move that effect down here, so this has now split. So now it's like having 2 pedal boards. So you have one pedal board in that victory and one pedal board in there. So it can be as complex as you want, but still really easy to use for what it does, or it can be super simple. So if you're just the captain and you want to quickly have an overdrive and a delay
and a kinky boost,
and a kinky boost.
I mean, then it's as simple as that, isn't it? I mean, if you go back and look at a video with Søren Andersen that you did in Capture Meet, he had was it the M9? I think he had.
He had
the M9.
Yeah, no, you're right. He did.
And then some overdrive pedals, and I've seen him still like using that a lot as a board with some overdrive pedals, and then the M9 for all his effects.
I'm being the chairman here. I'm saying we need to hear something, but we do need to know about IRs because that'll be important. And
we do.
I did just want to because it's my own personal thing, has it got a looper in it as well?
It does, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
so it
cool.
has the
Yeah, I was going to ask that question as well because.
Yeah.
But if it's the same as the Helix,
It will
then
be,
it will
yeah.
have the.
So
you would assign the looper as part of it would be one of your effects blocks,
Yeah.
and then you would still have the reverse functions. You'd have the half speed functions and everything as well. So it's a six button looper on there as well. So it's exactly the same as the Helix.
And
So-
it's a good looper.
and it's stereo as well. So it's stereo, so you can actually position things in the stereo field. So you could record a distorted part over on this
can
side.
it put all
and,
the good notes through one amplifier and then all the bad notes through like an amp, which I can just leave on standby all the time?
Yeah,
And you know what's really cool?
anything like that, it'll do. Yeah.
What I really love about the Helix is that when you have the loop and you put it in the end or whatever you want it, then you can actually loop something, go back to your effects and put on two different overdrives or something else while your loop is going clean in the background. That's really cool. And you can have two guitar players in there and you can jam on.
So come on, just tell us about IRs and then we have to hear something.
Okay, so IRs, impulse responses, cabinet impulse responses, or acoustic body sort of impulse responses that people are using, it will load all of those in as well. And you would do that with the edit software. Currently, the edit software is a librarian, so you basically need to put them from your Mac or from your PC. But yeah, so basically. Yeah, cabinet impulse responses, which opens up a whole bunch of different ways of doing things. So I could have a path with all my effects on. It may have the effects loop from the amplifier in there, and at the end I could split that, and I could send one path of that to a cabinet impulse response, and that could actually go to the front of house desk.
Okay.
So you're actually sending a speaker simulated sound
So if
to the
I
desk, and your amp's still getting the unspeaker.
If I had something like a Strymon Sunset or Riverside, which is the one that's actually the one that's more ampy. I think it might be the Riverside, but whatever. And I put it through the effects loop, like we've done this King of Tone thing then.
Yep.
And then I put impulse responses on the end of it.
Yep.
Is it not then like a full Helix? Obviously with less amp models in it. Is it not something I could then just go straight into the...
Yeah, if you put some kind of modeler or preamp, but it could also be the preamp from your amp as well.
Oh yeah.
You know, so if you captured that in the loop, and then you run into impulse responses, you could do that. But
okay, well my brain's melted and exploded in joy mainly.
I've just turned the tune on because it's got a tune as well. I'm clever.
Seriously, this joke, in Pete's mind, this joke never gets old. But basically, in my mind, it was old the second time he did it to me. Yeah, I know.
So that sounds amazing, but there's new effects in here, right? So from 2.50 new effects, they're all in here. So we just hear some of those, and then do the playing, and just go through some of those new reverbs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so the brand new reverbs. People have been asking for new reverbs for a while, and that is them.
Yeah,
that you just heard,
and it's great
with some lovely vocals.
Well, you didn't hear the vocals. You'll never hear them. We heard them in the room.
Oh, so what you're saying? That little bit of playing that they just heard. That's one of the new reverbs.
That's one of the reverbs.
No. That's two of the new reverbs.
Oh, what?
So the effect,
searchlights and plateaus.
Yeah. So what you're hearing there is,
plateaus.
As well as doing all the modelling stuff of other manufacturer stuff, Line 6 do a lot of their own pedals as well. So the multipass delay. So that is two multipass delays into each amplifier with different settings on, and one has searchlights and one has that plateau one. Yeah.
So it's hard for us. So one reverb through that amp and a different reverb through that amp.
Yeah.
Blended together.
So if you just get the balance control on your computer there and move it over, you'll hear the plateau and searchlights. I don't know which one's which.
Everyone just listens to this through the speakers on their iPhones. and then comments about how good or bad something sounds.
Oh, it sounded really bad, but it's your iPhone. And it's an iPhone 2. Or 3.
Take one of the earpieces out.
Yeah, listen to headphones, good speakers, please. We recommend it. Let's hear some more stuff.
Okay.
play some lovely stuff for us.
Okay, well let's not start with some lovely stuff. Let's start with some M series effects.
M series effects.
Because the M series had some great things in that Helix never really took on to start with.
Ping pong.
So we have things that now you have all these M series synths. So
Yes. I love that.
we have synth string, we have synth-o-matic.
I love that.
They're
And
awesome.
I love that because it's also inspirational when
Yeah.
you are flicking through these things. So I did a commercial a while back last year for I think it's Eon, where there's cars going through this desert, right? And I was asked to do, can you make the guitar sound like cars taking off in motorbike, all that sort of stuff. And I was like, how are we going to do that? You know, and I got loads of guitars and I tried different things, and then I was like, okay, let's put the Helix in and let's try that. And I just sort of went through preset effects and just started. It was an inspirational thing. You could just, and that's what this does. You're inspired to do. Just to do new things you haven't done before.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're recording a lot, some things like that are great to have in the background and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's unlikely you're going to put that sound on. You're going to go to your blues gig and you're going to use it all night.
Yeah. No, I mean,
maybe you will.
But if you are doing more stuff like writing or coming up with things,
And
if you are a commercial music writer or whatever.
Yeah, you put a synth part down against the drums and put your actual guitar part over the top. Yeah,
Inspiration, people. It's all about.
I remember reading an interview with BB King where he said, the attack synth preset inspired him to write
John
half
Mayer,
the material that he
John Mayer all the time. He uses
Come on,
that thing.
guys. What more?
Where are the good noises?
What more do you want? Right. Well, we'll see what's in. There's more effects under here. Let's have a look and see what's in there. Oh, actually, no. That's all the crazy
Bit
stuff.
Crusher, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
So the other
That's
one,
good.
Stevie Ray Vaughan's favourite.
So we just got a simple kind of sound there.
Yeah.
So script phase 90. Yep, tremolo. So we have this. I'm going to just put a little bit of boost on that, so I'm a bit louder. But let's go back to. I know what you want to do.
Yeah, I want to do the speed.
Yep. So you press the speed knob, the top there. Yep. No, press and hold. Then you click on where the brain is.
Just click.
Yep. And then you move, and then that should be it.
Presumably you can set the minimum and maximum. If we wanted to delve in a bit more, we could set what the maximum speed was and the minimum on the...
Yeah, but you don't need that because you just set for maximum and then you just use your foot for that.
No, but I mean, so that you know that all the way flat down it's only going to be a maximum speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can
if you listen with your ear...
Ignore it, just do it anyway.
I should get this in as well, is that it also has the snapshots that we have with Helix as well.
Okay.
So for every preset that you're in, you have 4 variations of that preset. So if you want to have one of your snapshots, so let's say we just stay in this preset, let's say this is snapshot number 1, I can go into snapshot number 2 and have the speed of the different, at a different rate.
Is that because does that allow the trails to not turn on and off when you go from one patch to the next?
That's a major point. Yeah. So if I was talking about snapshot mode, no. So you have a preset with all your favorite sounds and all your favorite pedals that you would use all the time. Now in the old days, and I used to have to do this, you would say if that was your basic sound and you wanted that sound, but you wanted a bit more reverb and a bit more dry for the chorus or for the solo that was coming up, I would have to resave that sound into another preset, and then I would adjust those settings. With snapshots, you don't have to do that, so you do it all within there. So if I'm in the preset mode and I press those 2 together, I have 4 different snapshots there.
Oh, yes.
So as soon as I'm in the snapshot mode, if I went to snapshot number 4 and tweaked that sound, every time I go into snapshot number 4, it'll be tweaked. So the speed will change, the different effects will come in and out.
Are we saying that changing from a preset 1 to preset 2, the trails won't decay across? But if you go within preset 1 and use the snapshots, all the trails and reverbs carry on naturally as you turn on.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's those.
Very
so
clever.
those,
Very
so
cool.
those
Very
two.
clever.
Yeah, very cool.
Very clever.
And for the, I mean, and you should also mention that this is true bypass as well.
Oh,
So it
well,
can-
there you go.
I mean,
That's it.
true bypass.
I'll take two. I'll take two. Yeah, that's its boutique. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, because this is not true bypass. I don't think. I don't
Wow.
believe this is. I don't like true bypass.
Oh man! Well, see, I don't use true bypass.
I prefer.
Either. I prefer the trails.
I prefer buffered stuff. I mean, I must admit, it's almost always better. Where's my clun? Where's my clun? Look at this. Check this out here, right? This is a good example. Can you see on this here? So you got it. It got it through bypass and buffered. So you can. It says on here, almost always better when it's buffered, and almost always worse when it's unbuffered.
Correct.
See that? So hey,
Wow.
say that. I mean,
Right.
Hey.
So well, you asked. Yeah. So you asked the question there. So yeah. So the speed between the two different speeds.
what question? I can't remember now.
We're talking about the speed between the two
Oh,
points.
yes,
so,
yeah.
so obviously that prompted me to go into the snap because I've got to
Yeah.
try and get as much information as I can.
Oh, but
that's
it's
what I
so-
get,
I mean-
that's what I get paid for.
Yeah, it does. So, what do you get paid? Really?
I think so.
It's just.
do you not?
No.
You need to have a word with your boss.
It's free coffee and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah. Obviously, a bunch of different. You've got the kinky boost. Things like the Timmy. So it's just working like in
Timmy.
yeah, the South Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Moo. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
At all.
Things like that. So this is just running as a basic, very basic sort of pedal.
Where's the visual indicator that says what preset you're on, or is it just because they're the 6 pedals, so therefore that must be the preset you want?
No, so yeah, so you're forcing us to give you more information, which is
Sorry.
which is great. So you have all of these different modes here. So this is your preset mode. So then I have bank up, down, and I've
Right.
got all the different presets there.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of people will just sit in that mode and they'll
Yeah.
save a preset, and that preset can channel change an amplifier, it'll bring in different effects,
Yeah.
it'll do all kinds of different things. Or you press both of those together and you have your 4 different snapshot modes, or you come out of that and
And you.
which
this
is just the
So
mode
these
that
are
I
these
would
are just
always
the effects
use.
that are within that
Yeah.
preset.
Yeah.
Right.
What I can see
Yeah.
this being used as most is for effects like reverb, delay, phaser, all of this stuff, and then you'll have 2 or 3. You can series these like 2 or 3 overdrive
in one effects loop.
effects loop, and then you would just this would sit like this in one
Yeah.
thing, and that's kind of it. That's kind of
Yeah.
what. And maybe you'll have one of these to do.
I can't remember, again, far be it from me to knock the competition, but that little Boss MS3, which I kind of got quite excited about last year and thought, because the idea of it, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but it was kind of like some digital effects from Boss, plus a couple of effects loops.
Three loops. Right?
And the idea was you might have a couple of drive pedals through it. And I kind of got quite excited about having that. And to be honest with you, I think the only reason I didn't was in the end, I wasn't overwhelmed by the kind of the... What wasn't it? What I didn't really like in the end? I can't remember what I didn't like about it now.
I think the effects, or it's again,
But this
it's
might be
not as
worth-
intuitive as this.
Yeah, I
this
think
is
it was the
much
sound,
more.
but
It's much easier to just
this
deal
is
with.
potentially worth a revisit again, isn't it? I think it's just... I'm going to have to probably twist someone at Line 6 arm to leave one of these in here for a few weeks or months just for us to kind of get to grips with it a bit more. But I quite like the idea, because I've always been... much as I haven't heard anything on this that I don't really like yet, I kind of know historically what I tend to do is end up always going back to just, my
one delay
quirky drive pedal that I like.
Yeah. Your Plum series.
So I quite like the idea that I can probably have 2 or 3 different drive pedals that I like sort of conjunct. But then the stuff on here that I'm really going, well, what's not to like are the delays and the reverbs and some of the modulation effects. They just sound fab.
I mean, if the drive pedals are as well, like Pete said, if that's sitting on a pedal board, you don't even have to use a loop for those.
I suppose
you just run in the front of that as well. Yeah, I mean, it's something I should have said earlier when we're talking about the I/O on here.
Yeah.
You can switch any of those ins and outs till instrument or line level. So like the Helix, if you want to run this with your DJ setup, I know you've got DJ
every weekend
in Ibiza in the summer and that. So you could run this in stereo and run out and do that as well. So I mean, that's there's all kinds of different things you can do.
But I would probably put my effects loops through my drive pedals through the effects loops, because typically, if I was going to have a compressor or a wah or something like that, I'd want that before.
Right.
Again, we'd never really tried the wah bar on this using this. So again, it's historically not been something that I've ever thought was terribly strong. So maybe we should just whack a wah
we can
up
do,
to
but
this and see if it sounds any good.
Can you put the effects only in the effects loop of an amp and then have everything else running straight into the front of the amp?
That's the 4-cable method.
That's the 4-cable method.
Yes.
4-cable.
The 4-cable method.
4-cable method.
So absolutely, you can do that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the 7-cable method is that using 2 amps.
And the 8-cable method we're not talking about.
Where there isn't an 8-cable method.
No, there is. It's the centerpiece of your gear, or it's just works in conjunction with stuff, which sounds like the way that you would do that. I mean, can I just quickly show you how easy it would be on a preset just to get up and running?
Yes, for sure.
Just as if I was a salesman in the Andertons store and I was trying to sell the captain.
None of us.
I'm looking for a job.
The captain one.
None of them are as good as you are.
I might be after this video.
Press big knob to open list.
So as you can see, there is nothing going on here. There's no effect. There's no
bit
nothing
like
else.
Pete's brain at half past 8.
This is my brain.
Yeah. So you choose where you want to. Where first of all, where in the chain. So it's automatically going to be. This will be the start of the chain.
Yeah.
This will be the end, but that can be completely switched.
Well, then if it's for me, I'll always go with reverb first.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'd
I'm going to
always
just
have
get
reverb
you to
at the end.
Right.
Okay.
Let's do this. You press that big knob, and then you're going to turn the big knob, and you find the reverb. You press it in again. You choose whether you want mono, stereo. Legacy is the MCU's effect. So then you scroll down and you choose the reverb that you want.
Oh, I see. So if I did want one of those legacy ones, how do I go backwards?
So you would just go page back. Yeah, down to legacy, press it in, and then scroll down.
Have a whole reverb.
And that's it. So now you just touch another foot switch. Yes, sir. Yep.
So I might want a little bit more.
Yeah, there's going to be some other presets over the other side there as well. So that's where your mix is.
Okay, so now I just press another one.
Yeah.
Now what do I have next? I might just put let's put a distortion in. Oh look, you see, it's so intuitive. I mean, this is what I love about this. Paul's only had to tell it to me once, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I get it now. Happy days.
17 times before we started the video.
Days, so Paul's been here for 3 days to get to this point.
So those,
okay, Lee, let's go through it again.
Those kinky things are really nice as well. That's some of the.
Try it again.
Yeah, so choose from it.
Boost. You want the distortion or dynamics?
It just. It's a bit of both really, but yeah, if you got distortion, you're going to find the.
And would they be legacies, you think, or?
So the legacy is all the MC's effects. So you're going to find some distortions in there. You're going to find some distortions just in the normal section. So
Kinky Boost. That Kinky Boost was cool. Yeah. No, I wanted that one. Oh, it's so easy.
Yeah, it is easy.
There's my patch. That's what I do. I just have that, and then I'd have like a little bit of drive, a boost for the drive.
You might have a distortion pedal as well, you know, a bit more.
Well, like super fuzz or like heavy stuff. I'm loving the fact that you can just audition them quickly by even though I'm in sort of some sort of edit mode, I can just. Oh man, this is so simple. What if I want to put the effects loop in here? Is that just, do I keep going down till I find effects loop?
Yeah, it's the same process.
Oh no, it's looper. Where?
Send
and return.
Yep.
Right.
And then
that's send one, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep. So 2 effect loops on there, both mono, but you can configure them as you just saw.
Right.
As a
So
stereo,
that's now that.
So now?
Just keep playing.
So which? So
no, we haven't done that
so
yet.
You
got this wrong.
So you chose send when what you meant to choose.
Oh,
was
effects loop one.
So
here it is.
So what you could do is just that's just for using this. You could
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
separate and have a return and a send, just for different ins and outs and things.
So we got play now. Now, the last thing that I want to do, and then Pete will probably play a bit here, is if I wanted to move these over to here, is there a quick way to do that so that I can put the looper last?
Yeah.
First do that. First
yeah,
do that, right?
So you could do that.
No,
Okay.
no
You do the same thing there.
So you could do that.
So
yeah.
cool.
So the only thing that we have to watch out for here is that we didn't change those in the signal path. So that might be the only point where now if you put this in, so that just because that's on that foot switch now doesn't necessarily mean that it's before the looper.
I see.
So then you would go into signal flow.
Signal
and
flow.
then here, this is the actual way it's all laid out here. So sorry, I should be doing this way, shouldn't I? So then you would go in there and you would put the looper in on that page.
But it's here though, or does that not?
No, that doesn't.
No, so we're here. So so you could program all of your effects from this page as well. So you see signal flows, you see all 9 effects, or however many effects.
So now it's there. That's it.
Yeah.
So now if I go back to this one, can I press this?
It wasn't a stereo looper though. You picked a.
Does it matter?
Will it come out of both then? If it's a mono looper. So go back.
No, yeah, it will. It just won't be in stereo. So we should probably just do it in stereo. In case yeah. So then you come back out of here. So and now
your looper's there.
You press that, and there's your loop.
I love it.
There's your loop functions.
Count me in, and I'll press the record button.
Not yet.
So come on then. Right. What I'm going to do is I say I'm just going to press buttons here. I'll count you in on the loop, but then I want to come whilst the loop's playing. I want to come out and add the king of tone
works.
to the. I know it never does. But here, right. Count me then.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Sold to the man in the Andertons t-shirt.
In the sandwich.
I say sold, obviously, on my usual Line 6 extra
My work here is done.
terms.
I don't really have that.
If I order 100 of these, you get one for free.
Oh man, look, and we
That's so
babbled.
cool, isn't
You wanted to do something super clever with the looper, didn't you? And I said I didn't, but it's your show.
I think
so
it's
you
great.
do it.
Let's
Go on.
do
What
it.
do you want to
Let's
do
do
that's super clever with the looper?
Right. So I've got something cool to show you. So if you have a stereo loop on there, and you've got 2 amplifiers, it would be a shame not to do what I said earlier and have those those loops where you can actually position things in the stereo field. So I could record a loop where I just had the rhythm part.
Right. No, I don't know where this is going.
So I could have the rhythm part coming out of one amplifier, and then I could pan the lead part and have the lead part coming out of this amplifier. So your loops, all of a sudden, you could be using stereo chorus, but you could also then solo, a little clean part over here, and then you could add some distortion and put a little distorted part over here.
That's a whole new.
I've got an even better idea for that. Is when Pete and I are doing a demo, secretly Pete can be playing both parts, even though one of them looks like me, and I can just use this pan control to pan him into the amp that I'm using versus the other. Anyway, so go on. So you want me to count? You do the counting again, and we'll do that again, and we'll show.
So you control it like this, right?
Yeah. So what we've done here is we've added a pan block.
Yeah.
Before the loop.
Peter Pan.
So that we can actually put it into the loop in different places, and then we've assigned this expression pedal to control the pan position.
Do it.
Right,
Peter Pan.
Let's try it again. That loop actually worked before with you just pressing the button. That was
those things. Got the rhyming like a demon.
Those things
timing.
Never works. Yeah. Let's see when we delay is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, so we had the loop going. So if I pan this.
Do you know what? I've asked this to happen about 17 times this video now. We're just going to stop talking. In fairness, I think this video's so long already. Yeah. We'll just get Pete to create his own favourite sound and loop and everything.
Nice.
And then you can loop
that
out.
Was great.
Do you think so?
That was absolutely great.
That's it, finished.
I mean, there's loads of playing in this video, and it sounds great, and Paul plays wonderfully.
Well, there you are, Paul. High praise indeed. He doesn't say that about me, ever. So
I do.
I'm sure he does.
Especially during pay review meetings.
What do you mean pay review meetings?
Exactly. We never have one of those. So there we go. Look, there's Helix HX. Genuinely super impressed by that. Genuinely cool. Hoping that Line 6 will leave us one to have a bit more of a fiddle around with.
I'm sure that you can't. I'm just going to get this. You can't have this one because this one's
fine.
Mine.
You need to take it to the Birmingham Guitar Show tomorrow.
Just going to clear that up right now.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It's very cool.
And you know what? I thought it was smaller than I thought it was going to be. Looking at the pictures, because I didn't see it. I didn't see it at NAMM. We didn't have time to go and see you guys at NAMM. So
you didn't come and see us, did you?
I did, but you weren't there. In fairness, when I came,
right? Okay.
I saw Marcus and Rutger.
Okay.
So anyway, hello Marcus, hello Rutger. So
this is great.
It's great, very cool. So there we are. Again, as I said before, any questions that we haven't covered, put them in the comments section below, and Paul has promised he will log in, answer them all. I'll leave his telephone number in the description section.
And his address if you want to turn up for a cup of tea.
But there you go. No, it's very cool. And yeah, please ask your questions in the comment section or phone Andertons.
Awesome.
And we've got lots of specialists there. They'll be able to help you out with this. But it's cool. It's very, very cool.
It's wicked.
We like you. Thank you very much.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank you
Paul,
for
coming down.
Me. Yeah, it's
Not at all.
always a pleasure.
Always a pressure.
And there was a bit of pressure earlier.
Yeah. Right. Cheers, guys, for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Andertons Guitar YouTube channel. If you're a drummer or a keyboard player or interested in music technology, you might find one of our other channels interesting, and I'll put details of those in the description below. If you want to find out more about the products we've just featured, please click here. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt like this, please click here. If you want to watch another video on our guitar channel, click down here. And to subscribe to our guitar channel, click here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.